According to many of the powers that be, eventually we may have no genders nor sexes, or everyone will be their own gender or sex. Whatever. For now, the battle of the sexes between male and female is alive and well, as it has been for millennia. According to feminism, all men are evil and involved in a patriarchy to oppress them. On the other side of the coin, men involved in opposing struggles point out how feminists want all the advantages of being a man without having any of the burdens, i.e., insisting, for example, that 50% of all doctors and lawyers be women, while ignoring such a requirement for work such as the military and many more occupations, which result in men being 90% of work-related fatalities, 85% of work-related injuries, and so forth, and much more. I do not want to get involved in this battle. The concern with this podcast is to inform the working class on the substance of the philosophies of the powers that be against which the working class is struggling. I have contemplated in other portions of this podcast a philosophy of language, including a contemplation of the nature of the social construction of words, the meaning of words, and in particular the meanings of words such as sex and gender. Here in this episode, I am concerned with a practical aspect of this struggle between the sexes that affects our contemplations trying to make nihilism a morality for class struggle. This aspect concerns the training, teaching, indoctrination, or whatever you want to call it, in which working class men learn and accept as part of life the belief that women or females have a moral superiority or a feminine nature that makes them more concerned with doing good in life. It is important for working class men to realize that our contemplations of the nature of morality, ethics, the law, and good, and so forth are universal. They apply to women as well as to men. Do not get into the con in which men are expected to have sympathy for women and their struggles. Such sympathy or feeling sorry for women is how working class men are conned into getting involved in struggles other than their class struggle. Feminists want equality. Well, let them have it and treat them as you would a man. For example, there are plenty of working class men now who complain that it is unfair to let a transgender male compete in girls' or women's sports because this transgender male has an advantage. Forget such concerns. Let him compete. If feminists or women in general want such competition and want to get rid of the genders and consider a transgender male or female able to compete against women in competition, let them have it. Let the women take care of themselves on this issue. If they really want equality, then there should be no distinction between men's and women's sports anyway. All competition should be co-ed. Once you are free of this indoctrination requiring the working class men treat women different, be gentlemen, or whatever the con goes, this will free you. This freedom from having special respect or sympathy for women in their trouble will free you to fight the good fight against the powers that be. This in turn will even allow you more freedoms. For example, women in society have no problem with female single-parent households. In many areas and in many subgroups within the working class, single-parent households consisting of females or a mother take up as many as 70% of the households. With a future of test tube babies just around the corner, there's no reason why men should not have the equal ability and social acceptance to have single-parent households in which the father or the male is the single parent. Men who want families should be just as able, and it should be just as socially acceptable to have a single-parent household with just a father as it is with just a mother or just a female. Just think of how wonderful it may be. As a male in the future, you will be able and socially acceptable to have a family, but without a wife and all the problems that having a spouse causes. no possibility of divorce, no miserable child custody fights that destroy the children and the family. As contemplated elsewhere in this podcast, nihilism can work as immorality, but the working class must give it a chance by accepting it as a universal for all sexes and all genders and for all beliefs.